Hey, 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 this is Therese Skelly, and this is another episode of the Fiercely Brilliant podcast. I am the luckiest woman on the planet because I have the coolest people to hang out with. Oh my gosh. And so I curate amazing folks that have just hearts to serve, crazy wisdom, soulful as hell, and they all have great stories, and they're really, really real. My goal with this podcast is to give you inspiration. You know, it's called the Fiercely Brilliant podcast because that's what I want for you. I want you to just own that fierce brilliance, like live your life from that place, like make money from being the brilliant badass that you are. Like that's my goal. And so I'm super excited to bring Bea Baylor on. Oh my gosh. So Bea and I are in a it's called the Evolutionary Business Council. And the first time I met her, we were at a retreat together a few months ago. I was like, holy shit, woman. Like the energy that Bea, she's stunningly beautiful. I just think she's gorgeous. But the energy that Bea has, the wisdom, the strength, it's like, woof. So Bea and I have been chatting regularly, and she's been supporting me in my business. And so I was like, you have got to come and talk to my people. So Miss Bea, I'm so glad you're here.
I am so excited that I'm here, Teresa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is a rainy day here in Austin, Texas. And you know what? I don't care if it rains or sunshine. Every day is a good day to me. And
Beautiful.
My name is Bea Baylor. I am your high performance coach out of Austin, Texas. What I love about coaching women is that they get to have me, and that's so beautiful. But as we sit down to look at every woman and talk to them, I love working with established women who want to take their business from 6 figures to 7 figures. We want to know why you haven't reached the 7-figure mark. And there's always energy around money. And so we break that. And we dive deep in, go to the core, to the soul, to the heart, to the mindset, and bring you out of your stuck mode into heaven in an awesome place that every woman ought to be, enjoying life. So that is who I am. I don't brag about who I am, but I tell you what, when I'm around people, I love energy and women who are excited about their business. So thank you.
You're kind of a powerhouse. You are a powerhouse. So we see you only share just when you talk to this woman, you're like, wait, and you do that, and you do that, wait a minute, and you do that. Like, Bea's got this crazy resume of amazing stuff that she does. Like, she serves in many different ways. Is there a particular thing that you do that just lights you up, or the thing you're working on? Like, what is it that lights you up today? Because I know everything lights you up, but is there, if you had to pick one?
I definitely, let me tell you what really lights me up is to really sit down with women like you, Therese, to analyze your business and find money in your business and just like turn that light bulb on, oh my gosh, there was money sitting in your business. You didn't even know it. And I love just really diving and getting right in there and saying, you need to do this, and giving you that tip and just working through that process. Oh, that excites me. And then they go back to execute it. I'm like, I just gave you a $10,000 tip.
Love it. You know what I love about Bea? She owns her value. Like, this woman's like that with $10,000. Like, a lot of women don't. So let me ask you, because I feel like, in order to be fiercely brilliant, you can't do it if you're not owning your value. So Bea, have you always been this solid? Like, was there ever a time you didn't own your value? Was there, we're about the same age, women of our age, we were not trained to own value. You're a woman of color. Like, were there things in your life that held you back from owning your value that you kind of had to fight to get through?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for really, I want to get into that because no, I was not always this person. I came from having, to work for everything. There was a little 7-year-old girl who thought she literally burned her parents' house down. And she lived with that for a decade, for almost 50 years. And it wasn't until my dad passed away that he said, you didn't do that. Can you imagine living and taking that blame. And I always had to feel like I have to put other people ahead of me, edify
Yeah.
them, make sure they get
Right.
everything. I had 6 sisters, 1 brother. I just made sure they got all their needs met and put my
Right.
needs last
Yeah.
until I broke that and just started to live out loud. I went through so many adversities. You would not
Yeah.
want to even get into it. So I'm in my normal uncertainty. The times that we're going through right now, this is my normal. I can overcome
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm.
I've written a book that take charge, overcome. So
Mhm.
now I know who I am
Yeah.
by understanding all the adversities and that
Yeah.
I don't have to lay down
Mhm.
uh, a bridge over any water
Mhm.
for any woman. I could stand tall with them,
I
beside
love
them,
that.
with them, carry on where my legacy with my
Right.
children
Right.
and family. So I've had many challenges, uncertainties, adversities, and I've overcome them all.
Well, how do you, because what you said and what they don't know about you is that you were a nurse. And very many of us who have trauma or difficult childhoods always become professional caregivers. Like I was a therapist, you were a nurse, we were smart enough to get paid for, but it's pretty, when you are wired that you have to take care of people first, like there's a point where like you just kind of, I'm so glad you're here, but I want to deconstruct that a little bit because there are people that might be like going, but how do you do it? How did you one day wake up and go, oh hell no, I am done? Like was that an instant decision? Was it a series? Like how did you? Because I really want to demonstrate because you embody be so much. You embody absolutely owning your brilliance. Like you freaking own yourself big time. Like you
Baby.
radiate.
Yes, it's a radiate.
You do. How did
No,
you get there? So tell me the
I
steps.
just a little, and it was baby steps, and it
Okay.
was really. I tell you what, coming out of the nursing part, boy, I had to inch out of that,
Yeah.
and I realized that in 2014 that um, when my dad passed away, he was at my nursing facility. I didn't realize when they moved him, I would develop post traumatic stress. No one ever knew
Oh.
what that felt like, taking him away. And then he was fine and then he died. So it was a there all over again,
Mm,
that guilt.
mm,
So I, at that point, had to step out.
yeah,
I had to, as Candy would say, I had to jump over that cliff and
yeah.
hit and get those bloody knees and stand back up and say, I'm gonna do the damn thing.
Ooh, I got
I'm
goosebumps.
gonna make it happen.
Goosebumps.
I'm out on faith. And that, because I would have kept taking care,
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask
stepping
you,
back,
did
taking
you, because I sort of believe that when we jump off cliffs,
care.
something either
It is.
propels us or did you make a decision? Like, what do you remember? Was there a day that you said, I'm done? Like, was there a decision or did somebody just push yourself off? Like, how did that go? Because this is a start. Like, if I'm trying to track for the people. If you want to do it, step one, step two, step three.
Step one is hand my resignation in.
Boom. That was
Like,
a decision. Oh, I love
that
it. So you just burn the
that's a
ships,
big
baby.
step. Yeah.
That was a
Uh,
huge step.
Out of, what am I going to do? I had a plan. I had my resignation in and walked away. And from there, it wasn't beautiful. I created little small side hustles
Yeah.
and just built a menagerie for myself. I
Right.
had to be humble,
Mm.
grateful, with the understanding that things are not going to look good because you stepped out.
Wow. Okay, hold on. We gotta freeze. Whenever people talk about, I got just chills. I have to
I
pause
love
because
it.
I gotta frame that. Like, hey, 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 hold on. Because I
Hey,
feel
hey.
like when I first jumped into business coaching, what I said is I I couldn't tolerate sucking for very long because I sucked. I sucked at selling. I just sucked, and it motivated me not suck. But what's really imperative because a lot of us are so afraid to suck. We're so afraid to like, God, this is really messy. But what I'm hearing is grace. You have to give yourself permission and some grace. And it's like, it might take 6 months and I'll be scraping by, or it might take a year and I'll just do whatever the hell I got to do, but I'm doing it. because it's not that, and it's the pivot.
It's not going to be that. It's moving forward. And in the interim, oh my goodness, let me tell you about being humble, Therese, that I opened a little small cleaning company
Mm,
that I would go in and clean people's homes and bring other women who needed money and
yeah.
share with them. And we had a beautiful time. But
Mm,
humility and vulnerability. Oh, wow. Can you imagine me? I'm a professional. I'm a nurse. I'm in there cleaning someone's home. And they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Had no
wow.
idea. Like, oh, wow. Do you know what grace can do?
Mhm.
Grace can elevate you
Yeah. Oh,
to where you want to be. So I turn all of that into something beautiful, something wonderful that got me to where I am to be
mm,
a high performance coach and work with
mhm,
some elite women
mhm.
from all walks of life. I even had a business partner who was a top notch attorney and
Yeah.
wanted to partner with me.
Right.
So I thought, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I had to have that inkling of I'm better than this. I'm
Mm.
valuable and I have what it takes and all the wisdom and the knowledge that was important to me. I can now share that and pour it out.
So is there, I love that. I love that. So you made the decision, you took the action, you were willing to do whatever it took. Um, was there ever a time, B, that you had doubt? Was there ever, while you're scrubbing toilets, was there ever a part of you that was like, will it ever work? Or did you just always like eye on the prize? Like, how did that work for you?
Oh yeah, you go home and you have your little pity parties and but because of the foundation that
Mm,
I was raised on, that you get back up, we work hard.
yeah.
With seven siblings, and we learn that we never fall down. We stand together, we
Oh,
stand tall. And
yeah.
that was instilled into me like, you done? Are you done having a pity party? Is there's food to cook and dishes to wash and a roof over your head? I don't know what's the problem here.
I could you parent my kids for like a decade to get like,
Right,
no, but
exactly.
I think we all need to hear that. Like some of us, that this is the work I do, B, is I call it collapsing. It's easy to go, oh, I can't do it, and I do it myself. So there's no blame or shame. The reason I know these things is because I'm freaking the poster child, right? So like, I want to launch, oh, I'm afraid. I want to launch, oh, it's not going to sell. I want to launch, oh, a kid's sick. It's easy to collapse, but I'm hearing in you, and you might be a freak of nature. You might be an outlier, right? The fact that you have in you, like, I love that. How do we bottle that? How do we make more women go, there is work to be done? Like, you're not saying I didn't feel, you felt, you experienced the sadness or the fear, but you're like, get the fuck up. Maybe you didn't say it that way. I like to
Yeah,
swear.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're like,
But
that's it.
let me
There is
tell
no truth.
ooh, let me say this.
We're going.
So when you are 44 years old and you get diagnosed with a stage 3 breast cancer with
Mm,
the 8-month-old baby in your arms, who was it's my grandson, that I had to
yeah.
go and get him out of the nursery to raise him. And 8 months into his life, stage 4, I developed a stage 3 breast cancer
Mm-hmm.
and single.
Wow.
And here's your marching papers. We're going to have to let you go. And that was my job, my nursing job. That
Yeah.
is, oh, you're going to have to let me go. I don't have insurance. I don't have this. I don't have anything. So when I hear women like whining and all of that, and I just look at them, bless you. You couldn't have walked in my shoe
Uh-huh.
and took on what I took on. And guess what?
Mhm.
Because I know how to survive, I am a 20-year survivor. So
Mhm.
there are things that make me sad, but
Yeah.
nothing can break me.
So what I'm hearing, you're not using the word yet, but it's resilience, like the resilience you have from surviving all that. So how do you pass that on? How do you share that with your tribe and with your family, with your boys or your daughter? Like how do you share that? Because it feels like
Oh,
you live that.
I do get called General Baylor at times. And that's coming
Okay.
from my kids. Okay. And so I raised them literally single parents. Being a single parent, raised my kids, and they're My son is a top-notch executive leader. He
Mm-hmm.
runs a huge operation. My daughter has her 3 kids. She's a mother. She knows how to be a single mother. She even know how to be a mother that the kid's father is involved. And my
Mm-hmm.
other daughter she is my twin. If you break her, you better get out of her way. If you try to push her down, you better
Mm-hmm.
move. And because those were things that were instilled in my children. And so
Right.
when I go to work with women and they have all the tools and resources, things
Yeah.
that I didn't have,
Yeah.
I say, let's put all the toys on the table
Mm-hmm.
and let's play. And we're going to take them away from you and see how you like that. And then you can make beautiful music just like I did.
Hmm. That's interesting. That's interesting. So why do you think people, or women in particular, we're talking about, why do you think they don't step up? Why do you think they're not living their best life, or they're not being brilliant in the world? What do you think happens to them?
Oh, and I want to go really deep into that
Yeah.
because those are things that in my sitting back last year, I went through every step that I created a course to where the first step is to really get clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
What's in you? How do you know what's in you if you've
Yeah.
never had anyone to pull it out, to show you your
Mm-hmm.
brilliance?
Mm-hmm.
No one to tell you how wonderful you
Right.
are. You've
Right.
been in a situation where most women are caretakers
Yeah.
and have to do for their family.
Mm-hmm.
No one stops to say, "Hey, mom, thank you for being that person." It's an obligation that most
Yeah.
women have to be there to take care of their families and put their needs
Mm-hmm.
last. And so I always say, put my mask on first, because if I'm
Oh,
brilliant, then everything around me is going to be brilliant. And
yeah.
I think that I think I'm answering that, but I think we have to take that step and we have to push out of that cocoon.
Right. So what I'm hearing is, what you're saying is the conditioning we have been raised with, because we're conditioned to be selfless. And that's what my book is about. If you have to read my love-based mission book. This is what it is
Love-based
that
mission.
we are
Yes.
wired to serve, but we're wired to play small, just serve our little people, as opposed to we actually are wired to serve this way, like serve the greater, serve our tribe.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we got to be different. And so what you say is put your mask on first. What I say
Yes.
also is, what is your mission? Like, if you are so tuned in to the person you're supposed to help. Like, I interview people. I interviewed a couple of people recently. They start crying. Be there like crying, talking about their mission. Like, they're so tapped in, and I get the same way. That's putting your mask on of purpose, right? That's your soul,
Yes.
or your,
Yes.
as I say, your
Absolutely.
ministry, right? So you either
Right.
start like, okay, I got to fill myself, or you say, I got to serve. Get your ass out of the chair.
Oh yes. Ah, we have been in predicaments to where if we served this big, we were out of line, and we always need to
Yeah.
stay in line. We can't
Yeah.
go be ministers in a pulpit. We can't do, and we've been told that you can't do that. You can't do
Right.
that.
Right.
And that's what keep us stuck right
Mm-hmm.
there. You
Mm-hmm.
can go from 4,000 a month to 2,000 a month. Now, why is that? Why, if you're that brilliant to make 5 grand a month, why can't you go further? But you get scared, afraid that you're going to leave someone behind, that
That's it.
someone's going to be upset with you, or you feel like this is not where you should be. This is pretty scary. I don't want to go here. I
Yeah.
love being comfortable here. But we are wired, like you said, Teresa, to be, wow, this
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. So
But
how do
we
you talk about balance? Because what you're saying is, like, here's what, let me back up. I did a speaking gig today, virtual, of course, because that's all we're doing. And I said, raise your hand if you've ever been told you're too intense. Raise your hand if you've ever been told you're too much. Raise your hand if you've ever been asked to, like, shh. And every single woman on every call always does that. We have been given messages, and especially women over 60, we got them worse, right? And so maybe when you're 30, you get a little sassy millennial energy, right? But when you're like,
over 60, yes,
over 60,
yeah.
or even probably 40 and 50, we were really acculturated to do this. And what I'm hearing you say, you're not using this word, but I want to talk about boundaries, because you have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries between you and your thoughts, and boundaries between somebody that's going to tell you no, boundaries between your fears of like, what if I step away? So how do you work with boundaries?
I love, and I use them all the time. I had a conversation with boundaries because I believe in this age where we are right now, that if we didn't put up boundaries, that we would go and sit down and be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm like, not with all of this knowledge.
Exactly.
So and even as a single girl, if I were to date someone,
yeah,
that would be, wow. I would have to go back to caring for that person, and those boundaries would be like lost. So for me, I always say that's not for anyone to put boundaries up for me. Allow me to say this is not going to happen simply because, and I'll share why people can't say, hey mom, my son says, what do you should be sitting down. And I said, where'd you learn that at? Who told you that? I should be doing exactly what I'm doing. Right. And so you have to be loving and kind, but at the same time, be all you can be. This is your time to live your lifestyle, to live the life you dream, to live the life that you've never lived, because you have that, the weight is gone off of your shoulder. It's, the kids are grown. There could still be a husband, and that's fine that women do have husbands and their husbands are great and wonderful. Being a single person is pretty hard because having to get back into another relationship means that I have to give 100% of myself.
Right. Like, nobody's making me cook for them. Do your own thing, right? or you pick somebody like my boyfriend who's like, I don't need you. Like I went the other way. I picked the one that is so self-contained. He's just like, no, I'll take my own trash out. I'm like, whatever. So there's those people out there too.
Right. They're out there.
You can
and that's
find
who
them.
you want to look at. And I hope that boundaries for everyone that's in your space, for family, because you said that you may want to step down. You have your mom and they're getting older, and other siblings, and they're requiring all your time. And it's really important that you set those boundaries so that you can achieve your goals. And everything you set forth for yourself. I didn't work all this hard to get to here to sit down to do for others. So I do have to put boundaries up.
So I love that. So the boundaries you're doing is choose yourself first.
Oh my gosh. As you know, I have to do that because I already put myself last in a decade, multiple decades, and had to do things and put myself last until I just had that conversation, even with my grandson this morning. I'm not going to put myself last. So you better get your act together.
I love that. You are so inspiring. And so there's the concept of putting yourself first. And then there's, for a lot of women, not you and I, but a lot of women might have the like, how do I do it? And you can do it by just little tiny actions. You don't have to like, just like little tiny actions. Pivots, right? Little actions. Yes. And so there's the how, and then there's the what stops you. And very often what stops us is little voices in our head or the fears about how it will be received. And I will tell you, there's a concept called external guardians. There are people that's like, you're getting so selfish. I liked you before, because they could freaking control you.
Right? They could control you. Right. And you were doing for them and making everything great and wonderful for them.
Yes.
And it is because you would have a future shock of people around you and your tribe if you just stopped in like, oh, I'm breathing for myself. Okay, I'm not doing CPR on you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, where's
Yeah.
me? And
Right.
I had to set the brakes and put some
Right.
boundaries in place, even
Right.
in my business, that I was attracting people who needed me.
Yeah. Right.
And I had to like
Right.
stop and put that to
That's really
rest,
awesome.
because those
It's always
boundaries
just
are
like
important.
reset, 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 right?
I think that's a good analogy, is reset. You really do.
Hmm.
Because that little voice.
Hmm. And so, what I
Yes.
will tell you about the little voices for y'all listening, and I know you already know this, B, but your brain is not your friend. Your brain is programmed to keep you safe, small, and stuck. Your brain likes you to be familiar. Like, oh, that's how she always dances with her father. Oh, that's what she does to take care of her kids. Oh, we're safe. As opposed to, hell no. Your brain's like, oh my God, you're going to die. You're going to die.
Yes. Are you nuts?
Are you
What
nuts?
are
And
you
so
doing? Get
you
back
literally
over here.
just get to like, shh. It's just like my dog's barking. I just go,
Yeah.
shh, go lay down, be quiet, shh, be quiet. And so you have to, whatever the thoughts are. So I will say, don't listen to thoughts. Find the people you aspire to be. Like, how does B do it? How does Treese do it? How does Oprah do it? Literally, it's called modeling. What would B tell me to do right now? What would Oprah have me do? What would Treese say? Like it, like let those thoughts become your thoughts until they are your defaults, right?
There
So
are, yes.
that's why I bring all these cool people on. So to show you, here's the how. And I always love the story. Like, yeah, no, I didn't come with a silver spoon. I wasn't this fully cooked when I started. Like, so I love that you shared some of the journey and what you have overcome, because you're such a badass. People could look at you today and go, "What?" But I loved how you talked about how you got there.
Yes. I appreciate what I went through, because the outcome. So it's
Yeah,
okay to fail and suck at something,
absolutely. Right,
but it's not okay to stay there and suffer and waddle in that pity.
right. I love that.
There is resilience and greatness that's going to come out of you, and you are that badass person.
Mm,
You need to know that. But the
mhm.
only way you're going to know that is you need to have that experience. I'm willing to experience anything,
I
because
love
I
it.
can always come out of it in a way that is um, a pleasing
I
to
love it.
myself.
And I want you to hear in your head General B saying, enough of your pity party. Like, enough. Get up, get up, get up.
Right.
Like, we have to have that voice in ourselves that inspires us to keep going. Because life
Right.
is going to kick you in the head. People are going to die. People are going to get sick. You're going to get betrayed. You're going to lose money. That's just life, right? I'll say, if you have a pulse, good luck. You're going to have it, right?
Right.
And if you can cultivate in you what B talked about, okay, feel it, and then get up. I love that. That's like the best wisdom bomb for today.
It's
Keep
the wisdom
getting up.
bomb. That right there. Oh yeah, feel it. Just that's okay. Feel it. Are you done? Oh, you need more time? Okay. Now can we get up?
Yeah,
Oh, I had a
yeah.
coaching session like that the other day. Pity party.
Mm.
And she, I took a nap and I woke up, and now what are you experiencing? I'm feeling good. Why? Because you wanted to hold on to something that was a
Mm.
story you made up, and you want to stay
Mm.
in it, and we're going to let you do that.
Yeah, yeah. That's so helpful. Beautiful. So I'm thinking people are like, where do I find more about this crazy badass woman with the beautiful hair? How do I find her? What? So where do people go to find you?
Well, first, I want to salute to all the nurses.
Mm,
Hats off to the nurses and
absolutely.
healthcare professionals in this time.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like, oh, as a retired nurse, I can go back and work on the enemy line, the front line.
Mhm.
But what I decided that is so good for me is I want to take the opportunity to offer anyone who are having things around the heart, stress and worry, uncertainty.
Mhm.
And I'd like to offer an hour clarity session,
Mm.
1-on-one with me, to really sit down and let's get downright dirty. Let's get raw and
Yeah.
find that brilliance that's in you so that when this is over and we shall prevail. But I want to have women and ready. There may be nurses thinking I need to change professions.
Yeah.
I need to do something different.
But you
And
don't
it's
have to be a nurse to get this, right? This is
you don't have to be a
okay.
nurse.
Okay, perfect.
You could be any professional woman,
Okay.
established woman, a woman who's looking to change careers and really need to know what lies ahead. Clarity session. You can go to my website, beabaylor.com. Be like boy, EA, Baylor.com. Fill out the profile, get on my calendar for your free complimentary. It's not free, it's complimentary. I'd like to say that. And I want to support the women that are out there because we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
We all are looking to rise to this occasion and stand tall.
Right.
I'm in my normal because I've overcome so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not traumatized.
For me.
Yeah. Nice.
You know,
Beautiful.
know how to save, know how to work hard and make things happen. And so I just want to share, Therese, with women out there that we're all in this together. And I just want to love on you, tell me your story. And that's it.
I hope y'all take her up on that. And her information will also be in the show notes. Do you have any last words of wisdom? Not that we've not dropped lots of bombs, but is there anything on your heart, Bea, that you want to say in closing?
I do. And it's right here, Teresa, that adversity and uncertainty equals opportunity.
Ooh. Yeah, nice. And
go through something.
I don't know when you're watching this, but we are filming it. We're all on shelter in place. We're in the middle of a pandemic and people are freaked out. And so I love, Bea, that you are offering the call to people and we're knowing we're going to get through this, but people are really rattled right now. Yes, and so my goal, if you listen to this or watch this, is that you can develop the resiliency that Bea so beautifully demonstrates, that you understand that it really is about putting yourself first. And so what I would love is if you enjoyed this episode, leave a comment, leave a review. It makes for other people wanting to listen to it. And if you have questions, reach out, message me at ts@tereseskelly.com. Please get a hold of Bea because she's very cool to follow. I'm blessed that I get to connect with her regularly. And so in the meantime, peace and blessings. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you, Teresa. And you are a badass yourself. Take care.
Thank you, baby. Bye.
Bye-bye.